Hey everyone, what is up? It's your girl Jasminder, aka Posh and Political, and welcome to the second video of the day. This video is about the Bloc Quebecois and a summary of their party's promises for this year's election. So today I am releasing a video on 3 of the parties which are considered relevant to Canadian politics. However, they do not have 12 members within the House of Commons, and therefore they are not recognized parties for the purposes of parliamentary hearings. So this includes the Green Party, the Bloc Quebecois, as well as the People's Party of Canada. So this is the second video of the day, and I am going to be talking about the Bloc Quebecois. The Bloc Quebecois, as I mentioned in my first video on the 6 main parties and their major beliefs in under 10 minutes. If you haven't watched the video, you can go see that. I will link that down below. So as I mentioned in that video, the Bloc Quebecois sits on the left-hand side of the political spectrum and is led by Guy-François Blanchet. This party also only runs seats within Quebec. Therefore, they would never really have the chance of forming government within Ottawa. However, the point of the Bloc Quebecois is to represent the interests of Quebec on a federal level. When it comes to abortion, the Bloc Quebecois supports a woman's right to choose. On other social issues like gun control, the Bloc Quebecois has not released any policy. When it comes to the rights of Indigenous persons, the Bloc Quebecois has not released any policy on this issue. They do, however, want to fully implement the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples and call themselves allies. When it comes to climate change, the Bloc is committed to achieving the Paris Agreement targets as well as examining exceeding them. As I mentioned, it opposes not only building new pipelines, but also investing in fossil fuel projects. It also wants for Quebec to have veto power over any pipeline that they say will be running through Quebec. When it comes to new pipelines, they are basically against any new pipeline being built. And they also want to sell off the Trans Mountain pipeline, which the Liberal government purchased for $4.5 billion. When it comes to the carbon tax, the Bloc Quebecois is in support of the carbon tax. However, they have argued in the past that the Liberal tax does not go far enough. They are proposing for provinces and territories which have higher emissions per capita than the national average to be increased to $30 per ton. This charge basically wouldn't apply to provinces that are greener like Quebec. When it comes to housing, the Bloc Quebecois has said that they want more money for a social housing plan in Quebec. However, there are really no details as to how this would look. In addition, they also want for people to be able to withdraw money free of tax from their RRSPs if their house is damaged by a climate change related event. The Bloc are also proposing to make the caregiver tax credit refundable. It also wants anybody that's over the age of 65 to be automatically enrolled in the guaranteed income supplement, and then to have the supplement itself increased in value. They also want to extend EI benefits to a maximum of 52 weeks for caregivers. When it comes to education, the Bloc Quebecois has said that they want to increase transfer payments to provinces and territories in order to improve post-secondary education. When it comes to healthcare, the Bloc Quebecois has said that Quebec needs more money if they want a national pharmacare program to be implemented. Also, they're arguing that Quebec should be compensated for the cost of all drugs, which will go up under the new NAFTA agreement. They actually have not released a policy on this issue, and this is probably because Quebec already has a very extensive subsidized childcare program. All right, now let's take flight and go international. When it comes to foreign aid, the Bloc Quebecois once again has not released any type of policy on this issue. When it comes to immigration, the Bloc Quebecois want for Quebec to be exempted from the Multiculturalism Act. They also want for the Quebec National Assembly to be the ones that are able to choose how many immigrants Quebec accepts rather than the national government. Like the NDP as well as the Green Party, the Bloc Quebecois wants to scrap the Safe Third Country Agreement, and they also want to give Quebec veto power over federal decisions to expel refugees. When it comes to the NAFTA agreement, the Bloc Quebecois were actually extremely upset when it was renegotiated. They called it the worst possible agreement and want to introduce a new bill that prevents cuts to supply chain management. All right, so now let's talk money, honey. On a national level, what the Bloc Quebecois has proposed is taxing tech giants. Furthermore, they want to clamp down on tax havens. The other policy that they've given in terms of taxes is basically regarding Quebec. They basically say that Quebecers should not have to file federal taxes, and all of this should just be done at the provincial level. All right, so now let's talk deficits. Guy-François Blanchet has proposed keeping the deficit between $12 to $18 billion over the next 4 years. All right, so that is it for the Bloc Quebecois. Stay tuned for the next video, which is on the People's Party of Canada. Thank you again so much for tuning in into all these videos. I hope that these 5-minute summaries are helping you in terms of figuring out who to vote for, what each party stands for, and what they're proposing to do and why you should vote for them. So if you want more information on how to vote, I have provided links to that down below. I've also provided links to figuring out what your riding is and which MPs are running in your riding, so be sure to check that out as well. I am going to be seeing you in the next video. In the meantime, stay posh and definitely stay political, and make sure this upcoming Monday, October 21st, you go out and you vote.